Ran into a little snafu there. Oops. My bad. That's all right. I'll make up for it. I will make up for it for you by having an incredible episode of hashtag Rise and Grind. How's that sound? Does that sound fair enough? I will make up for being a few seconds, minutes, however you want to look at it, late from going live this morning. I'm going to make it up to you right now by just having a powerful episode. Let's go. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? See, there's no excuse for you not pushing yourself to the next level. In order for you to... Wow. It's going to be one of those. All right. Let's try this again. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? See, there's no excuse for you not pushing yourself to the next level. In order for you to create a new you must have a new mindset. When teams come together, we can create things that are greater than the sum of all of their parts. Good morning and welcome to hashtag Rise and Grind. I am your host, Glenn Lundy. I am a husband to one, a father to seven, and the creator of what is going to be the #1 most watched morning show in the world. It is 5:30 a.m. and I hope that you are ready to rise and grind. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? What an interesting way to start our show today. For those of you that are listening on the podcast, that's right. We have a podcast, hashtag Rise and Grind with Glenn Lundy. For those of you that are listening on the podcast, you're probably like, what the heck are you talking about? Sounded great. Music was fine. Everything was fine. Well, actually, there was a couple little snafus over on my side, admittedly, being a little vulnerable here this morning, but you can't see those when you're listening on the podcast. However, you can if you go to @official Glenn Lundy on Facebook. You can actually watch us live 5:30 a.m. or you can catch the replays throughout the day at any time in our hashtag Rise and Grind group, where we have over 30,000 members that are part of that group. It's absolutely incredible. We would love for you to go from podcast listener to come on over and join us in the group. Hey guys, good morning, good morning, good morning. Today is Wednesday, August 26, 2020. That's right, it's Wednesday, August 26, 2020. And what's crazy is today is the very first and the very last time it'll ever be Wednesday, August 26, 2020, ever again. So we want to make sure we make the absolute most of this absolutely incredible, incredible day. Listen, we are in a new series this week called Alter Ego. And yesterday, our friend Heather Parody chimed in on this series, and she talked about how if we dress in a certain way, it can actually make us feel different, right? She shared a story with her daughter and how her daughter, when she's doing her karate, she puts on her orange belt and she just feels empowered. She feels brave. She feels strong, and how we can still do that as adults by dressing or putting on a certain outfit or whatever. Those types of environmental triggers can change the way we feel. Can literally make us act in a way that is different than what we normally do, no matter how irrational that might sound. And yesterday we also tapped into our understanding of the three parts of the mind: the conscious, the subconscious, and the unconscious. And as we tapped into those three key components of the mind, we discovered that our rational mind, the conscious mind, is actually only in control 10% of the time. Our irrational mind, or also known as the subconscious mind, is in control 50% of the time. And our unconscious mind uses the other 40% of the time to sort it all. It's the file clerk, right? That's how the mind works. That's how it's broken down. So knowing that our irrational mind is in control 50% of the time, our rational mind is only in control 10% of the time, knowing that means basically all of our actions, all of our responses, the way that we live our life and the results of our lives up till this point have literally been controlled by the parts of our mind that we can't control. So how do we change that, right? How do we break free of some of the old habits that are limiting ourselves, break free of some of the old mindsets that are keeping us in a limited place, that are not allowing us to explore our dreams and to really live a fulfilled life larger than anything we could imagine? How do we change that up? How do we create and change our lives through an understanding of the mind? Well, today I'm going to give you 5 poisons. I'm literally going to share with you 5 poisons that can trigger the beast in you. And then I'm going to show you how to use them. Right? That's really all it comes down to. If we can have an understanding of what's going on, what's triggering us a certain way, we can then flip that trigger to cause something positive or to create something positive in our life. Then we can now gain power and we can affect change and we can move our lives forward. CMA style. That's right. Today is CMA Day, Carter Myers Automotive Group. That is their hashtag, man, moving lives forward. It's what they're all about. It's what their whole company mission is. Everything they do, from their employees to their customers to just everything, their community, it's all about moving lives forward. And that's why I love CMA Day. We got a bunch of people from CMA that are in here today. And if you're looking for a career, if you're wanting to work for a place that's all about moving your life forward, might be one of the triggers you need to change. We're going to talk about that today. Environmental triggers. You might need to get out of the environment you're in and get yourself in a good one. Something like, I don't know, CMA maybe? CMA Day, baby. Love it. All right, listen, we're going to dive into this today. I'm going to give you these 5 poisons. And I'm going to show you how you can use them so you can ultimately affect change in your life. Fair enough? Before we do all that, though, you know what we got to do if it'll let me. My computer's being very odd today. New computer's on the way, though, by the way. There we go. You know what we got to do. That's right. We got to do some dancing up here on hashtag RISEANDGRIND. Hey, listen, for those of you that know, those of you that don't know, this is the part of the show where we need you to hit that share button. That's right. I need you to hit that share button because I believe if we can change the way people start their day, if we can change the way people start their day, it'll make a massive impact on this planet. I truly believe that. And sometimes all it takes to change the way somebody starts their day is for you to hit that share button. Now, I'm not playing with you, Mike Overfell, Gail B. Graff, Tina Bacon, Michael Guthrie, Naomi Bussinger. I'm not playing with you, Amy Bricker. I'm not playing with you, Kim Fair, Laura Berman. I need you to hit that share button. Those of you that are watching on replay, hit that share button. Let's get this out. Let's go, let's go, let's go. It's also the part of the show where we get the body moving, we get the blood flowing, we get the heart pumping. If you're out there running, I need you to run a little bit harder right now. If you're in there working out, I need you to push it up a little bit harder right now. Whatever you're doing physically at the moment, if you're at the house, put your arms up. I need you to dance. I need people to think that you're wild and think that you're crazy. All right, Eric Burns, let's go, let's go, let's go. Liza Myers-Borges is out there running right now. We'll see her today on CMA Day. What's up, Emily Galler? Let's This is also the part of the show where I say good morning to you and you say good morning to me. Whether you're watching live or you're watching on replay, say what's up. I'll say what's up back. How you doing, Mike McMullen? What's up, Rod Hatfield? Rod Hatfield. What's up, Rodney Hatfield? Rod Hatfield is a dealership out here that I don't like, but I like you, Rodney. What's up, Mike McMullen? How you doing, Spencer Nicholson? What's up, Rick Tamburino? Aaron Lang, Mike Higdon is in the house. How you doing, Jenny Lockett? Laura Berman, Janelle Griego, Scott Simons is in the house. Don Sankey, Jim Fitzpatrick. How are you, sir? I believe I'm going to be on with you on Friday. Super excited about that. What's up, Gail B. Craft? We got Mike Stevens is in the house. Amanda Sanner. How are you, Amanda? Great to see you. She's part of our hashtag Rise and Grind Elite crew. What's up, Tabby Negrit? We got James J. Davis is in the house. Eric Burns, he's also part of our elite. How you doing, Kristen Hawk Tibbs? Aaron Lang up there in Canada. Anita Faulkner. We got Amante Harvey. What's up, Amante? Mike Stevens is in the house. Linda Lamont. Speaking of our hashtag Rise and Grind Elite, what's up, Bill McLean? Bill McLean and Beth Lucchese and somebody else. They all met up yesterday coming out of hashtag Rise and Grind Elite. You can be a member of Elite. I don't know if you've seen people posting pictures lately. They got their hashtag Rise and Grind Elite shirts. Be a part of our group, man. We meet twice a week for 1 hour live to help each other lift, encourage, change our lives, all those good things. And we'd love to have you join us. We'd love to have you join us. You can just go to riseandgrindelite.com and you can be a part of that, man. It's awesome. If you're an elite right now, will you drop it in the comments? Will you be like, just put the word elite in the comments if you are currently an elite member, so that some people that maybe are thinking about joining can see who all they're going to be connecting with in hashtag Rise and Grind Elite. It really, really is powerful. Super, super powerful. All right, let's dive in today's series here on hashtag Rise and Grind. Man, I love this song. Back in 1886, there was a book written called Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde that talked about the debonair and suave Dr. Jekyll, who had a dark side that was triggered originally in a controlled fashion. He was able to trigger it through a sort of a potion or a drink per se. He was able to trigger it, and he was able to control it. It gave him strength. It gave him a little more charisma, per se, but it also became his demise. Later in the story, he loses control. And as he loses control, Mr. Hyde starts to come out while Dr. Jekyll is sleeping and doing damaging things and becomes very dangerous, to the point where Dr. Jekyll ultimately takes his own life to try to get rid of Mr. Hyde. You see, this story resonates with me in a lot of different ways, and I'm certain it can resonate with you. You know, when Mr. Hyde just kind of comes out, you don't necessarily understand it. Your kids say or do something, your spouse says or does something, someone at work says or does something. Maybe it's something as simple as someone cuts you off in traffic. And Mr. Hyde all of a sudden rears his ugly head, right? We don't necessarily understand why we reacted that way. We don't necessarily, we're not very necessarily proud of the way that we reacted, but something triggered it and it came out. Mr. Hyde, the dark side. Well, see, this exists because we have as we discussed yesterday on this show, something called engrams. These are the stored files in your subconscious. It's basically the pathways. These are the pathways that have been beaten into your subconscious mind over the years. They've been reinforced for whatever reasons, ultimately survival mechanisms, but words that were said to us when we were young, experiences that we had throughout our lives. They've all been put together in a series, a sequence, and ultimately it's like a chain reaction, right? One little trigger can ultimately cause the whole thing to react. Something exterior happens, chain reaction, and then it ends up creating a certain result. Now, these pathways that have already been created in your mind over the years, whether they're rational or irrational, they ultimately control your response. And knowing your triggers helps you use them to either avoid the situation, avoid the reaction if it's not a positive one, or you can trigger it if you can use it in a positive way. Look at all those elite babies. I love all those elites. Higdon says, when a customer calls me a liar, I go to a different place every time. I feel you, bro. I feel you. It just instantly, right? Hairs on the back of your neck, anger, you want to punch him in the face, right? And you just loved that customer a minute ago. And you're a nice guy, but all of a sudden, Mr. Hyde, boom, there's something about that in you. I used to be the same way, Mike, I did. So knowing your triggers helps you use them or avoid them. Just like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, when there was no trigger, it was all good, right? Dr. Jekyll was in control. He knew that if I did this, then I could bring out Hyde, and he liked bringing out Hyde at first, for multiple reasons, but ultimately he lost control and Hyde began to take over the soul, right? So let's go through today. I'm going to give you 5 poisons, 5 basically triggers that you need to know and understand that can trigger you in a negative way, or ultimately you can use those triggers to positively create change in your life. Fair enough? Check it out. The very first trigger that you need to be aware of is aromatic triggers. All right? Smells. Literally, smells can cause a chain reaction in your body and your mind that can cause you to act and perform in a certain way. For example, if you were a smoker or are a smoker and are trying to quit smoking, the smell of smoke can obviously trigger and make you go want to grab a cigarette. Aromatic smells, or that's not the right word, aromatic triggers, that's the word I'm looking for, are super, super powerful. I'm going to give you an example. I have an allergy to apples. And with this allergy to apples, at one point, my wife put an apple like harvest fragrance thing in our house, right? And in the middle of my sleep, I literally had a massive allergic reaction because my body simply was smelling apples and mentally triggered a chain reaction in me to cause me to break out as though I was eating apples. That's how powerful an aromatic trigger can be. It can literally cause your body to irrationally respond. So knowing this, if there's a time or there's a season where maybe you're a little bit upset, maybe you're upset, you're sad, you're depressed, somebody hurt you, not necessarily physically, but somebody hurt your feelings. Maybe you're just feeling down, you're feeling depressed. Well, knowing that aromatic triggers can cause a reaction in your mind and your body, you might want to maybe just go for a walk. Maybe you need to go for a walk and you need to get outside because there might be some smells out there that remind you of your childhood, that reminds you of playing outside, that reminds you of a vacation, that reminds you of a trip of some sort, right? It could be as easy as making like a home-cooked meal. Sometimes the smells of our favorite home cooked meal can bring back the memories, can bring back so many of those pleasure sensors that we had when we were a kid. Whatever it is for you, whatever some of your fondest memories are, capture those smells and use them as part of your superpower. Anytime you're feeling down, depressed, lonely, you can trigger yourself aromatically to bring back that purpose and bring back that joy. The second poison that can bring out the beast that you could ultimately use to empower change in yourself is an environmental poison. This is very easily seen in those that maybe struggle with alcohol or that particular scene. Obviously, an environmental trigger. If you have a problem drinking, you probably don't want to hang out in a bar or an environment that's got a lot of people drinking. Right? Just putting yourself in that environment, putting yourself around those types of, I shouldn't say those types of people, but putting yourself in an environment where that's the thing, that people are doing, well, then clearly that's going to trigger you. And the rational side of you says, well, that just makes sense, right? Avoid the environment that's going to trigger that reaction. Totally get that. However, what a lot of people forget is that that includes the people of that environment. And sometimes this can be a hard one, right? Sometimes this one can be a little bit more difficult. We're like, okay, I understand I can't go hang out at the bar, but I still like hanging out with Tom. Tom's my dude. And yes, I know Tom drinks, but I love Tom. And I'm here to tell you that Tom might be a trigger that's continuing to perpetuate that thing in your life that you don't want to perpetuate. And so as him being a part of the environment, you might have to change the environment for a little while, including Tom might have to go. But see, knowing that our environment can trigger the negative side, the behaviors that we don't want, the environment can also trigger the positive side. It can also trigger the things that you do want in your life. If you start to change your surroundings, maybe you start hanging out with people that still are very social, but they don't drink alcohol. They drink water and soda, or in my wife's case, Ale-8. Maybe we need to change our environment so that we're starting to hang out with some people that align with our core values, that fall in line, that make decisions. My wife got home yesterday from her Bible study. Thanks for the stars, Robert. My wife got home yesterday from her Bible study, and she says, honey, my prayer for you is that you can find a group of guys that you can spend time with the way that I just did with this group of girls in this Bible study. It's so powerful. It's so encouraging. It's so enlightening. She changed her environment. Lately, because of COVID, she's been staying home. She hadn't been going very many places, not because of her feelings, just because of the environment and the things that are going on. So she went out with the girls yesterday. They sat in physical proximity, had their Bible study, and she came home completely triggered with joy. It matters. You might need to change your environment, like we were talking about with CMA, man. People love working at CMA because of the other people that are there and the environment they get to work in. It's amazing. You might want to be a part of that. If so, let me know. The third one, and I better hurry. We're running out of time because I ran a couple minutes late. The third one, the third poison can be a poison, but we can ultimately use to empower and create transformation and change in you, is a mental trigger. So mental triggers can be anything like social media, television, books. All of those things can become mental triggers, right? What you're watching, whatever information that you are consuming, at all times, understand that there is a file clerk in your mind that is capturing everything. So whatever information you are ultimately consuming is it's layering into those neural pathways. It's creating a pathway, which is ultimately going to become a trigger, which becomes a reaction. That's simply how the mind works. Whatever you consume, there's an equal and opposite reaction on the other side. Knowing this, consuming a lot of negative things on social media, consuming negative things or watching negative things on television, consuming a lot of mindless, senseless content, all of that consumption can cause you to become mindless, senseless, negative, all of those things based on your consumption. What you eat, what you feed is what you're going to get. So knowing that poison can the mental triggers that poison can cause, later, because everything's getting stored, man. It's hard to explain this, but everything is getting stored. So later, whatever you're watching, whatever you're consuming, it's going to come out. Somebody says something, somebody does something, the environment's similar, you hear a similar sound, you smell a similar smell. All of these things cause triggers, and how you react is not under your control. Do you understand? It is not a conscious behavior. It's not. 50% of the time, it's our subconscious that's running things. 40% of the time, it's the unconscious that's running things. Only 10% of the time is the conscious running thing. So everything that you consume will come out in some way, shape, or form. Period. Watch your consumption. Control it. Knowing that it's a trigger, if you change what you consume, you can change the behavior on the other side. Only consume that which serves you. Only consume that which propels you forward. Consume only quality. We're like this with our children. We monitor what they watch. If we find that they're watching nonsense or crazy or where people are being mean or people are being bullied or people are being hateful, we control that consumption. We switch it up. No, you're going to watch things that are positive. You're going to watch things that are kind, because we're trying to create neural pathways in our children where they will subconsciously and unconsciously act in a positive way. Right now, this whole country is consuming all kinds of crazy. And guess how they're acting? Crazy. Fair enough? Understanding this trigger, use it to empower you. Don't allow it to devour you. Number 4, trigger that you need to know. It's a poison that can cause a reaction in you, but you can turn around and use it to empower you once you understand that these triggers exist, and that's verbal. Verbal poisons. Dude, cuss words nowadays, like I still say some cuss words every now and again, like they slip out, but like cuss words nowadays, they literally hurt my ears. Literally. Like when I try to watch a movie these days, right? I try to watch a movie or something, and like it's just F-bomb, 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 F-bomb. That hurts. It literally hurts my ears. I can't do it. I have to turn it off, right? It's crazy. Whereas I used to use those words all the time. I used to be in environments with those words all the time. I used to like think it was like cool to do all that stuff all the time, right? But see, I didn't realize that the verbal poisons can actually affect your ultimate results. Man, they did an experiment with plants, right? You can take 2 plants, put them in little glass things, and you just speak nothing but like cuss words and negativity to the one plant, and you say nothing but kind words and positivity to the other plant, and the plant with the kind words and positivity grows like crazy, and the other one shrivels up and dies. Shrivels up and dies. If you say cuss words and negativity to a plant, it will shrivel up and die. Are you hearing me? I know that's crazy, but that's real life. You see, words have energy behind them. And energy is ultimately what makes the entire world go round. I don't know exactly who I'm talking to right now, but I need you to hear me on this. You must choose the words that you use, and you must choose the words that other people use around you. You must use them carefully, incredibly carefully. Bruce Pover will tell you words matter. They're one of the most powerful forms of communication. One of the most powerful forms of motivation, inspiration, of education. We use words. They're powerful. So be careful of the words that are around you. What are people saying over you? What are people pouring into you? Be conscious of all those things because it can be poison. It can be poison or it can be power. You choose. Poison or power. That's how it works. And the last one, which I know I'm way over on your time, and I apologize. Thanks for hanging with me this morning. If you got to go, head on out of here. If you need more videos, go to glennlundy.com. If you listen on the podcast, make sure you subscribe. Drop your name down in the comments so that I can see you. If you haven't joined, hashtag Rise and Grind Elite, I need you to jump on in there, riseandgrindelite.com. You got to join us. It's absolutely incredible. It's amazing. And number 5 is physical poison. Physical poison can come from a lot of different ways, right? Like when we get angry, or maybe our parents got angry at us, people put their hands on us, we throw hands, we fight, those types of things, right? These physical poisons, anything of aggressive nature, those types of things can cause long-lasting effects. Could be a physical poison like sexual abuse. Sexual abuse to a child can affect them for their entire lives. It creates a neural pathway. It creates a neural pathway in the subconscious, and lately that can be triggered at any time. It can be triggered at any time, and it's painful. It's horrible. It's awful. It truly is awful. And we don't necessarily realize this sometimes as parents, but what we call discipline, spanking, switches, all of those things, right? They can have lasting effects. They create neural pathways that later in life can cause us to be triggered and to act in an irrational way. See, my dad didn't realize that. My dad was disciplining me the way that he was disciplined, but what he didn't realize is he was beating into me shame. He was beating into me fear. He was beating me into me limited mindset. He was beating into me to become a follower and a sheep and not a leader. He made me feel small for a really long time. And later in life, my triggers, whenever I was in those environments, whenever somebody called me a liar at work, or whenever somebody tried to stand me up, dude, we were throwing hands. I was a fighter. I loved to fight. I looked for fights. Fighting was my thing for a very long time. I was a very angry person. It got triggered every time. Physical. Boom, boom. Anytime I was frustrated, anytime I was mad, anytime I got angry, it got physical. That was my reaction. That was my trigger. You see, touch can hurt, but touch can also heal. You see, knowing that there are physical triggers, that people can be triggered physically, being conscious of that, we can reach out in physical presence. And one of the ways that you can attack this, that you can remove some of these neural pathways, is to share your stories. To talk about them with someone that you trust, to talk about them with someone that you love, to take them from a subconscious level into a conscious level. That's why it's so ingrained in religious cultures where people share their testimony. You share it in a safe place, because those tests and those trials that you went through, they've created these neural pathways, and and right now they're controlling you. But if you can take them from subconscious to conscious, you can take control over them, and you can turn that around to bless others. You see, all of the greats, they understood that they had alter egos. They understood that there were parts of them that got triggered in certain ways, and they figured out over time how to use that to their benefit. And you can too. Have a full understanding of the things that trigger you. And let's shift those, let's change those, and let's use those to ultimately grow and empower your success. Listen, if you need more videos like this, you can go to glennlundy.com. Again, I apologize for running a little bit late today. If you need more videos like this, you can go to glennlundy.com. I want you to have an incredible day today. Take these things, man, because you can create transformation in your life. You have the power in you. It doesn't have to be Dr. Jekyll and evil Mr. Hyde. It can be Dr. Vicky and the powerful Twang sister, or whatever, right? It's up to you. Understand and know your triggers. Use them to your benefit. I love you. You're a child of God. You have the ability to create. So go out there and create a life worth living. And I'll see you back here tomorrow morning, 5:30 a.m. on hashtag Rise and Grind. Have an incredible day.
In my dressing room.